Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. I had been waiting for that moment for over 2 years, and when it finally happened, I felt almost nothing. Not relief, not excitement, not vindication, just a strange flatness, and then almost immediately a new kind of anxiety I had not expected at all. I'm Sats, and this is what actually happens when Bitcoin does the thing you spent years waiting for. Let me tell you what the moment actually looked like, because it was nothing like what I had rehearsed. I was not watching a screen when it happened. I found out through a notification, a number, a new high. I stared at it for a moment, put my phone down, and went back to what I was doing. And then about 10 minutes later, I picked the phone up again and looked at the number again, as if checking whether it was still true. It was still true, and I still felt almost nothing. And I remember thinking, why does this feel so flat? I spent the next few hours trying to work out why. I had built this moment up in my own head for a long time. Not obsessively, but it was there, in the background of everything. The belief that at some point the price would confirm what I had decided. That the validation would arrive in the form of a number on a screen. The number arrived, the validation did not. And that was the first moment something felt off. Here is what I think was actually happening, and it took me a while to understand it. The feeling I had been waiting for was not really about money. It was about being right. Specifically about being right in front of the people who had told me I was wrong. My financial advisor, my family members who had raised an eyebrow, the colleague who had said it was a Ponzi scheme. I had been carrying a quiet version of that argument for 2 years, and some part of me had believed that a new all-time high would settle it. It did not settle anything. The people who had doubted it were not sitting in front of their screens reconsidering. Most of them were not following the Bitcoin price at all. The vindication I had been waiting for was not going to arrive in the form I had imagined, because it depended on other people having the reaction I wanted them to have. And they were not going to. That realization was the first unexpected feeling. The second arrived almost simultaneously. This was the part I hadn't thought about. What do I do now? I had a plan for getting into Bitcoin. I did not have a plan for what happened when it worked. And a new all-time high is exactly the moment when that absence of a plan becomes visible. Because the price going up is not a neutral event. It is a decision point. Should I sell some? Should I hold everything? Should I buy more? Is this the top? Is there more to come? I had held through crashes without a plan, because holding felt like the obvious thing to do when the price was down. Now, the price was up, and suddenly doing nothing felt harder, not easier. The number on the screen was large enough to make the question feel urgent. And urgency, as I had learned before, is the enemy of good decisions in Bitcoin. Here is what I eventually worked out, and it is the thing I wish I had understood before the moment arrived rather than after it. The feeling I thought I would get wasn't there. Not in the form most people imagine it. It does not feel like winning. It does not feel like being right. It feels like a number changed, and now you have to figure out what to think about that. And the uncertainty you thought would resolve at this moment has just changed shape. The validation does not come from the price. It comes, if it comes at all, from somewhere else. From the quality of the reasoning you did before you bought. From understanding why you hold it well enough that a new high produces the same response as a significant drop. Which is to say, you check whether the underlying case has changed, and if it has not, you continue. A new all-time high does not change the case for Bitcoin any more than a crash does. It is just a price. And you were supposed to have a relationship with Bitcoin that did not depend on the price to feel right. If you do, the high feels like confirmation of something you already believed. If you do not, it feels like a question you are not sure how to answer. I did not have that relationship fully formed when the high arrived. And that is the thing the high actually revealed. Not about Bitcoin, about me. Let's bring it together. A Bitcoin all-time high does not feel the way most people expect it to. The validation you have been waiting for does not arrive in the form you imagined. The people who doubted you are not watching. The argument does not get settled. What arrives instead is a new decision point. Should I sell, hold, buy more? And urgency makes that decision harder, not easier. The emotional stability that makes a new high feel like confirmation rather than crisis comes from the quality of your reasoning before the price moves. Not from the price itself. A new high is just a price. Your relationship with Bitcoin should not depend on it to feel right. If you want to understand the reasoning that makes Bitcoin possible to hold calmly regardless of where the price is, the video on why Bitcoin has value is the foundation. It is what makes both the highs and the drops feel like the same thing. Watch that next. Stack smart, stay curious. See you in the next stack.